Mills, I'll turn things over to you.
Thank you. I hope your mother's doing well as well. Thank you, and good afternoon again. Yesterday we shared some good news. The news that the administration has secured a new partnership with IDEX to provide enough COVID-19 test supplies to more than triple our current testing capacity at the lab. And with that additional capacity, which we expect to be operational sometime next week, Maine CDC will be able to better gauge the prevalence of the virus throughout the state. This, in turn, opens the door to a new set of possibilities as we examine how to safely restart Maine's economy. When I unveiled the plan on April 27th, I said we would also look closely at opportunities for regionalizing regional variations, meaning are there some areas of the state that we can allow to safely open certain businesses before other areas? That flexibility is important, and we've been engaging with industries in various sectors of the economy for weeks. States, counties, neighborhoods, businesses, and families are all feeling the impacts of this virus, but in sometimes different ways. It is therefore appropriate to tailor our approach to reflect these differences as best we can, and in a manner that protects the health of the Maine people to the greatest extent possible. So today I'd like to announce a rural reopening plan that is aimed at reopening certain additional businesses in more rural parts of our state over the next several weeks. I'm specifically referring to the counties where community transmission of the coronavirus is not present and where there are significantly fewer cases of the virus. Aroostook, Piscataquis, Washington, Hancock, Somerset, Franklin. I don't want to speak too fast. Oxford, Kennebec, Waldo, Knox, Lincoln, and Saginaw counties, which also are some of our more rural counties, but they are counties which have not encountered community spread. Under this plan, in these counties only, starting this coming Monday, May 11th, retail stores may open to in-store customers. In doing so, they must adopt the health and safety precautions that we are also releasing today. These include, but not limited to, restricting the number of customers in the store at any one time, enhancing cleaning and sanitation practices, and maximizing touch-free transactions wherever possible. Also, in these same counties only, beginning Monday, May 18th, restaurants may open for outdoor dining and for limited dine-in service, also with strict health and safety precautions that we are releasing today. These precautions include physically distancing customers, making sure employees follow enhanced hygiene and sanitation practices, and controlling customer flow by making reservations only whenever possible. For example, a small restaurant could implement reservation-only service and use a text or call alert system to notify families waiting inside their cars when their table is ready, to avoid having anyone stand in a waiting area, and to space out occupied tables at least 6 feet apart. This isn't going to be easy, but the industry has also weighed in, and we've respected their views and come to these accommodations. Servers in restaurants should be assigned to specific areas for their entire shift to avoid cross-contamination among staff. The restaurant should switch to laminated menus, which can be cleaned more easily than paper. They should implement packaged single-serve condiments, minimizing the use of kiosks, tablets, pens, credit cards, receipts, and keys. and shut down common food areas like salad bars. All those things could easily spread this virus. The timelines for these reopenings align pretty well with the reopening of similar businesses in New Hampshire. Also, in these same 12 counties, online, beginning Monday, May 18th, remote campsites and sporting camps that provide access to wilderness activities, such as canoeing, hiking, hunting, and fishing, are permitted to reopen with public health safeguards. We're also making some small adjustments to the plan on a statewide basis as well. For instance, fitness and exercise centers, which were initially categorized in stage 2, will now be permitted to open on May 11th, it's next Monday, for outdoor classes of 10 people or less, or for one-on-one personal training instruction. That's one at a time inside the gym. We are asking fitness instructors and personal trainers to use the general health and safety guidance that we are establishing. And those guidelines, which take the form of COVID-19 prevention checklists, are found at the Department of Economic and Community Development website at maine.gov/DECD. That's D as in David, ECD as in David. With these changes, we're permitting these establishments to reopen, not requiring them to do so. If you are immunocompromised, or if you care for someone who is, you should not feel compelled to go back to work in such an establishment. And I urge all employers in these businesses to be flexible with their employees when considering reopening. Our plan also does not prevent a municipality from adopting additional public health measures, including perhaps additional restrictions on establishments within their jurisdictions. For now, retail stores and restaurants in York, Cumberland, Androscoggin, and Penobscot counties, where community transmission of COVID-19 has been established, they are not permitted to reopen for in-store shopping or dine-in service until June 1 at this point. That's the tentative start date for stage 2. Community transmission in those counties continues to pose too big a risk to allow those businesses to operate. Although there are rural areas in some of those counties, the counties as a whole have seen too significant a spread. Those businesses, however, can continue to provide telephone order, curbside pickup, takeout, and home delivery services. Throughout this process, the Maine CDC will continue to monitor epidemiological data, including case trends and new hospitalizations, as well as healthcare readiness and capacity, to inform decisions on the safety of lifting or reinstating restrictions. As of yesterday, Maine, adjusted for our population, ranks 6th lowest in the nation for positive cases, 36th out of 32 total states reporting, and 10th in the nation in the percentage of people who have recovered out of the 38 states reporting. Our rankings are pretty good. Ultimately, the success of this is to implement and conscientiously follow these health and safety precautions, and 2, the ability of Maine people themselves to continue to practice good hygiene, including washing your hands often with soap and warm water, and keeping 6-foot distances between yourself and others. Now, if you are an older man, regardless of where you live, stay safe. And if you are someone considering going out to a restaurant or go shopping at Rennie's or to the corner store, please please keep in mind precautions are so important. The person next to you in line may have the virus and not know it, or you may have it and not know it. And if you ignore the public health guidelines, you risk the health of the person at the table next to you who may be undergoing treatment for cancer, or the child in line behind you who may have asthma, or the person across the counter from you who may be a nurse or a first responder treating people who are desperately ill. Please don't become the reason that they become sick or the reason they contract the virus and unknowingly pass it to a patient or a family member. These health guidelines are meant to protect them just as much as they are meant to protect you and your family. They are meant to protect our frontline workers, our doctors and nurses, store clerks and pharmacists, wait staff, and countless others. Do it for yourself. Do it for them all, too. Ultimately, this rural plan is the next step in the gradual restart of our economy as we continue to put the health of Maine people first. My administration will continue to work with businesses and different sectors of the economy, solicit feedback from others, consult with public health experts, and strive to move our state forward in a thoughtful, deliberate way. So I say, let's continue to talk. Let's keep having the constructive dialogue. Please continue to give us your thoughts, your concerns, your ideas. We welcome all of them. To some who might say, these distinctions, these lines we're drawing are arbitrary, or to those who may say, well, why not my business in my area now instead of later? I say to them, we may not all be in the same boat, but we are in the same storm, and we are all struggling and fighting these rough seas together. I, however, continue to be amazed by the confidence and courage of Maine people, hundreds of thousands of people and businesses who have bunkered down in the last 8 weeks. I believe we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel is a long one, and there are still some dark corners ahead if we don't walk carefully. Let's take it one step at a time and navigate this storm together. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Governor. I'm going to